Gentlemen, if you're over 60, let me ask you a question that might sting a little. When was the last time you woke up with a strong, proud morning erection? For some of you, it may have been months, maybe even years. And if that absence has become normal, I want you to hear this clearly. It's not just about sex. It's about vitality, strength, and the unshakable confidence of knowing your body still responds the way it was designed to. Here's the shocking truth. Thousands of men your age are regaining consistent natural morning erections, not with dangerous pills or costly procedures, but with something so simple it almost sounds unbelievable: a single spoonful of oil before bed. My name is Dr. Jonathan Prescott. I'm a board-certified urologist, a professor, and a men's health specialist. For more than 30 years, I've studied male hormones, circulation, and vitality. I've seen countless men walk into my office convinced that age had stolen their manhood, only to discover that there was still a path forward. What I'm about to share isn't a fad, and it isn't a hollow promise. It's science rooted in real research and real-world results. Here's the paradox that excites me most. Men in their 70s and even 80s are waking up stronger than they have in decades. Not because they are suddenly young again, but because they've learned to fuel their bodies properly. Isn't it fascinating that a simple oil from your own kitchen can succeed where modern medicine often fails? Take 1 tablespoon before bed, and you're giving your body the raw materials it needs to restore testosterone, protect blood flow, and bring back the natural morning erections you thought were long gone. In just a moment, I'll reveal which oil this is, why bedtime is the perfect time, and how this single nightly habit can transform your mornings and your confidence. But before we dive deeper, I need to ask something important from you. If this message resonates with you, hit that like button. Why? Because every time you do, it tells me you want more science-based, practical advice designed for men your age. And let me add this: when you tap that like button, I'm sending 3 blessings your way. First, may your mornings greet you with the strength you thought had slipped away. Second, may your days carry a renewed confidence that shines in your eyes and in your smile. And third, may your evenings be filled with peace, knowing you're investing in a body that still has power left to give. And now I also want your voice in this conversation. Type 1 in the comments if you believe this message speaks to you. Type 0 if it doesn't, because your honesty helps me shape these videos into something more valuable. And don't forget, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss another men's health insight built specifically for gentlemen in your stage of life. This journey is about reclaiming what many of you feared was lost forever. And to understand how a single spoonful of oil can trigger such a change, we must look at the science of timing. Why the night hours are the secret window where real repair and real strength are restored. That's exactly where we're headed next. For decades in my practice, I've seen men walk into my office frustrated, embarrassed, convinced that their bodies were simply too old to produce strong erections anymore. But here's the reality I've learned, and science continues to confirm. The problem is rarely age itself. The real issue is that the body hasn't been given what it needs at the right time to keep building hormones and fueling circulation. That's why the timing of a spoonful of oil before bed can be so powerful, almost miraculous. Think about this: your body doesn't shut down at night. Between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., it runs like a night shift at a factory. Hormones are built, tissues repaired, and energy stores restored for the next day. Testosterone, the very hormone that fuels erections, is synthesized during these hours. But production only happens if the raw materials are stocked and ready. Those raw materials are healthy fats. Without them, the body is like a factory missing its supplies, plenty of workers, but nothing to build with. That's why taking oil before bed makes sense. You're stocking the shelves just before the shift begins. The healthy fats in certain oils form the backbone for testosterone synthesis. Many also contain anti-inflammatory compounds that reduce silent swelling in your blood vessels and pelvic tissues. That means freer blood flow to the very places you need it most. And here's another advantage. Oils are absorbed quickly and efficiently. Your body doesn't have to wait long. Within hours, those nutrients are in circulation, being used to restore balance, rebuild hormones, and prepare you for the natural erections that come in the early hours of the morning. I've had men in their 60s and 70s tell me, with a smile they hadn't shown in years, that they were shocked to wake up firm again, something they thought was gone forever. Their stories prove this truth. Timing matters, and what you feed your body before bed matters even more. But here's where we sharpen the focus. Not all oils are created equal. Some provide only calories, while others deliver potent compounds that directly support male vitality. Choosing the right oil makes the difference between disappointment and transformation. That's why I always begin with the one oil supported by the strongest science, the one that consistently delivers results in both the clinic and the research lab. Extra virgin olive oil. When men ask me where to start, my answer is simple. Begin with extra virgin olive oil. It's not exotic, it's not expensive. Yet in my decades of practice, I've seen it deliver some of the most consistent improvements in men's vitality. I'll never forget Mr. Harold, 67, a retired carpenter who came to me after trying everything from supplements to prescriptions. He had nearly given up, convinced that nothing could help him. When I suggested something as ordinary as olive oil, he chuckled. Weeks later, he walked back into my office with a quiet grin, telling me he had woken up stronger than he had in years. That one moment reminded me of a lesson I've seen again and again. Sometimes the simplest answers are the most powerful. Science strongly supports what Harold experienced. In Mediterranean countries where olive oil is consumed daily, rates of erectile dysfunction are among the lowest in the world. Clinical studies have shown that consistent olive oil intake can raise testosterone levels by nearly 20% in just 3 months, a result that rivals some medications without the side effects. But olive oil doesn't just fuel testosterone production. It also protects what your body makes. Thanks to its polyphenols, potent plant antioxidants, olive oil helps shield testosterone from breaking down or being converted into estrogen. In other words, it's not only helping you produce more, but also helping you hold onto what you have. Quality is the key. Look for first cold-pressed oil in dark glass bottles with a harvest date printed on the label. Freshness matters because that's when polyphenols are strongest. 1 tablespoon about an hour before bed is enough. Some men take it straight, others mix it with lemon juice or drizzle it over a small piece of bread. The important thing is consistency night after night, giving your body steady fuel. Many men also notice side benefits: calmer nights, better sleep, even improved digestion. And then, almost without warning, the return of firm, dependable morning erections. Olive oil lays the foundation. But as powerful as it is, it's only the beginning. Because there are other oils that work in different ways, supporting circulation, reducing inflammation, and directly protecting the prostate. And one of the most surprising among them is pumpkin seed oil. Pumpkin seed oil is one of the most overlooked treasures for men's health, yet I place it near the top of my recommendations. It's rich, nutty, and surprisingly powerful in restoring both prostate health and hormonal strength. I recall Mr. Raymond, 68, a retired school principal who came to me worn down from restless nights. He was waking 3 or 4 times to urinate, exhausted by morning, and discouraged that intimacy had faded. I suggested something simple: a teaspoon of pumpkin seed oil before bed. Within weeks, his story changed. He slept longer stretches, his bathroom trips eased, and to his surprise, his morning strength began to return. I could see the relief in his face, the weight lifted. The secret lies in its unique blend of nutrients. Pumpkin seed oil is one of nature's richest sources of zinc, a mineral essential for testosterone production. Without enough zinc, the testes slow down like an engine starved of fuel. Delivering zinc together with healthy fats makes absorption efficient and the body responds quickly. But zinc is only part of the picture. Pumpkin seed oil also contains phytosterols, plant compounds shown to calm inflammation in the prostate and improve urinary flow. That's why men who use it often notice not just stronger erections, but also fewer nighttime interruptions, less pelvic pressure, and an overall lighter, freer feeling. Research supports this. Clinical studies demonstrate that men taking pumpkin seed oil regularly report improved prostate health and better quality of life. And when the prostate is no longer inflamed and swollen, everything in that region functions more smoothly, including sexual performance. The taste is another pleasant surprise, nutty, earthy, rich. Many men enjoy it straight from the spoon, while others mix it into yogurt or drizzle it over a light evening snack. The ideal dose is 1 to 2 teaspoons before bed. Always choose cold-pressed oil in dark bottles and refrigerate it to preserve its deep green color and potency. Pumpkin seed oil lays down a foundation of strength by feeding your hormones and protecting your prostate. But to take the next step, we need to address another hidden barrier, deep-seated inflammation that builds silently in the pelvis and blood vessels over the years. And that's where the often forgotten castor oil comes into the picture. Most men raise their eyebrows when I mention castor oil. For generations, it's been remembered mainly as a harsh laxative your grandmother might have kept in the cupboard. But when used in the right way, in the right dose, this thick golden oil offers something very different, relief from hidden inflammation that quietly strangles male vitality. I think of Mr. Douglas, 70, a retired bus driver who had nearly given up. His mornings were empty of strength, his pelvis felt heavy, and every attempt at intimacy left him disappointed. He had tried prescription medications, but the side effects outweighed the benefits. When I suggested castor oil, just half a teaspoon before bed, he looked doubtful. 3 weeks later, he called me with a voice full of excitement. For the first time in nearly 5 years, he woke up with a natural, firm morning erection. That call reminded me how easily forgotten remedies can hold surprising power. The secret lies in castor oil's chemistry. Nearly 90% of it is made up of ricinoleic acid, a unique fatty acid with potent anti-inflammatory properties. Unlike when taken in large amounts for digestion, a small nightly dose doesn't act like a laxative. Instead, it penetrates deep into tissues, easing the silent congestion and swelling that often build up in the prostate and pelvic vessels over decades. This is crucial because low-grade inflammation in that region is one of the biggest barriers to strong erections. By clearing lymphatic fluid, reducing pelvic pressure, and allowing freer blood flow, castor oil helps the body restore its natural response in the early morning hours. The key is moderation. Just half to 1 teaspoon mixed into warm water or milk an hour before bed is enough. Always choose organic, cold-pressed, hexane-free oil to avoid impurities. The taste is not pleasant, I won't pretend otherwise, but mixing it with honey or chasing it with something mild makes it manageable. And when the reward is easier urination, lighter pelvic comfort, and the long-missed return of natural morning erections, the brief bitterness is a small price to pay. Castor oil tackles inflammation at its root, but while it clears blockages, there's another oil that fuels the body in a very different way, by waking up metabolism and supplying quick-burning energy to repair and rebuild overnight. That oil is coconut oil. Coconut oil is one of those household staples that most men overlook. Yet, in my years of studying metabolism and male vitality, I've found it offers something unique, fuel that the body can use quickly to repair, restore, and strengthen overnight. I remember Mr. Leonard, 65, a retired machinist, who told me he felt like his body was running on fumes. His mornings were sluggish, his sex drive faded, and he said it seemed like the engine had nearly shut down. When I suggested a teaspoon of coconut oil before bed, he raised an eyebrow. A few weeks later, his story was different. He woke up feeling lighter, clearer, and with the kind of energy he hadn't felt in decades. Alongside that energy came something else he thought was gone for good: stronger morning erections. The secret is in coconut oil's composition. Unlike most fats, it's rich in medium-chain triglycerides, MCT. These are metabolized rapidly by the liver and converted into usable energy, not stored as body fat. Taken before bed, coconut oil gives your body a steady supply of clean fuel during the night hours when hormones are built and tissues are repaired. But the benefits don't stop there. Coconut oil contains lauric acid, a compound with natural antimicrobial effects that help reduce low-grade inflammation in the gut and urinary system. That's important because hidden inflammation is one of the silent enemies of blood flow and nerve health. By reducing it, coconut oil indirectly supports stronger, more dependable erections. The best way to use it is to start small. Begin with 1 teaspoon an hour before bed, and if your body tolerates it, work up to a tablespoon. Always choose virgin, cold-pressed, organic coconut oil, the kind that still carries the faint smell of coconuts. That aroma tells you it hasn't been stripped of its natural compounds. Some men melt it into herbal tea, others mix it with cinnamon or simply take it straight. Coconut oil recharges your metabolism, supports testosterone, and gives your system the energy to rebuild itself overnight. But while it fuels repair, there's another oil that directly nourishes and protects the prostate itself. That vital oil is pumpkin seed oil. Among all the oils I've studied, black seed oil is the one that surprises men the most. Known for centuries in the Middle East as the cure for everything but death, it has only recently begun attracting serious attention in Western medicine. And for good reason, its effects on testosterone production and male vitality are profound. I remember Mr. Gerald, 72, a retired railroad worker who came to me feeling utterly defeated. He told me his energy was gone. His mornings were empty and intimacy felt like a distant memory. He had nearly accepted decline as inevitable. I suggested black seed oil not as a miracle but as natural support for his system. 2 months later, Gerald returned with a spark in his eyes. He said he felt alive again and his morning erections had returned with a consistency that gave him hope. The secret lies in a compound called thymoquinone, the powerhouse within black seed oil. This antioxidant directly protects the Leydig cells in the testes, the very cells responsible for testosterone production. Over the years, oxidative stress chips away at these cells, leading to lower hormones and weaker erections. Black seed oil shields them from damage and helps them recover, restoring their ability to function. Research confirms this. Clinical studies show testosterone increases of up to 20% with regular black seed oil use, along with improvements in sperm quality, libido, and erectile strength. For older men, these numbers mean more than statistics. They mean renewed confidence and restored vitality. There's another bonus. Many men over 60 struggle with insulin resistance, which directly weakens testosterone. Black seed oil has been shown to improve insulin sensitivity, helping blood sugar control and supporting healthier hormone levels. The taste of black seed oil is strong, peppery, slightly bitter. That's why I often recommend mixing a teaspoon with honey before bed. Another option is high-quality liquid capsules, but make sure the label lists at least 1–2% thymoquinone content, otherwise the potency won't be enough. Always choose organic, cold-pressed oil for maximum benefit. When men commit to this habit, they don't just see hormone improvements. They feel stronger, more focused, and more alive. Black seed oil restores the very machinery of testosterone production, offering hope to men who thought decline was their only future. But protecting and repairing hormone-producing cells is only half the story. To fully restore blood flow and vessel health, the lifelines of strong erections, another oil plays a critical role, and that oil is fish oil. When most men think of sexual health, fish oil isn't the first thing that comes to mind. It's usually linked to heart health or cholesterol. Yet in my years of practice, I've seen it quietly transform not only circulation, but also energy, focus, and yes, erections. I think of Mr. Walter, 69, a retired firefighter who carried a constant fatigue that never seemed to lift. He tried adjusting his diet, exercised faithfully, and even experimented with herbal supplements, but his mornings remained weak. When I suggested a nightly dose of fish oil, he was skeptical. "Doc, isn't that just for the heart?" he asked. Weeks later, Walter returned with a grin. His mornings felt alive again, more energy, sharper focus, and firm erections that reminded him of younger days. The reason lies in omega-3 fatty acids, particularly EPA and DHA. These compounds reduce systemic inflammation that silently erodes blood vessels as we age. By calming that inflammation, fish oil helps vessels remain flexible and open, making it easier for blood to reach where it's most needed in the early morning hours. DHA in particular strengthens the vessel walls themselves, ensuring they stay resilient under pressure. This doesn't just improve circulation for erections, it supports overall cardiovascular health, making every system in the body more responsive. On top of that, omega-3s enhance nerve function, keeping the communication between brain and body sharp even into later years. To get the benefits, quality and dose matter. I recommend pharmaceutical-grade fish oil that's been purified and tested for contaminants like mercury. 2 to 3 grams before bed is ideal, and taking it at night often reduces the fishy repeat that bothers some men. Keep the capsules or oil refrigerated to preserve potency. Fish oil may not sound dramatic, but it's a foundation builder. It improves circulation, supports nerves, and amplifies the effects of every other oil you take. Many men discover that when they add fish oil, the progress they began with olive oil, pumpkin seed oil, or black seed oil becomes stronger and more consistent. But knowing which oils to take is only half the journey. The real transformation happens when you learn how to combine them into a simple, nightly routine, a protocol that maximizes results without overwhelming you. That's exactly what I'll outline next. One of the most common mistakes I see men make is trying everything at once. They hear about olive oil, pumpkin seed oil, coconut oil, castor oil, black seed oil, and fish oil, and they want to start them all immediately. But the truth is your body responds best to steady, consistent steps. Healing is a process, not a sprint. I think of Mr. Franklin, 71, a retired engineer who walked into my office carrying 6 bottles of oils he had ordered online. He was eager but overwhelmed. I told him to slow down to build a rhythm his body could adapt to. Once he followed the protocol I suggested, not only did he avoid digestive upset, but he began noticing improvements within weeks. Here's the plan I recommend. Week 1, keep it simple. Start with extra virgin olive oil, 1 tablespoon before bed every night. It's a gentle foundation your body tolerates well and understands. Week 2, add variety. Alternate oils throughout the week. For example, olive oil on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, pumpkin seed oil on Tuesday and Thursday, coconut oil or fish oil on the weekend. This provides a steady mix of nutrients without overwhelming your system. Week 3 and beyond, find your personal rhythm. Some men thrive on 2 oils consistently, while others prefer rotating 3 or 4. My favorite approach for many patients is olive oil and black seed oil 3 nights a week, pumpkin seed oil twice, coconut oil once, and castor oil once. This addresses hormone production, prostate health, inflammation, and circulation together. Think of this routine like brushing your teeth before bed. At first, it takes discipline, but soon it becomes automatic. The key is not intensity, but consistency. Small actions repeated daily lead to lasting transformation. When men stick with this steady rhythm, they report calmer nights, more energy in the morning, and the gradual return of erections they thought were lost forever. And once a man sees those first signs of progress, motivation takes care of itself. But of course, the next big question every man asks me is, how soon will I see results and what should I expect along the way? That's exactly where we're headed. One of the things I love most about this community is your honesty. Every week I read your comments, your stories, and your challenges. Tonight, I want to pause and answer a few of your questions directly because your voices shape these conversations. Question 1, Doctor, isn't this just snake oil dressed up fancy? I hear this a lot and it's a fair question. No, this isn't about gimmicks. Every oil I recommend is backed by clinical studies and decades of observation in real patients. Olive oil, for example, has peer-reviewed data showing testosterone increases of nearly 20%. Snake oil makes promises with no evidence. These oils deliver results grounded in science. Question 2, what if I have diabetes? Will these oils still work for me? Yes, and in fact, some oils may be especially helpful. Black seed oil, for instance, improves insulin sensitivity. Better blood sugar control supports testosterone and circulation. Of course, nothing replaces working with your doctor to manage diabetes, but these oils can complement that care. Question 3. I tried olive oil for 2 weeks and saw nothing. Am I wasting my time? 2 weeks is just the warm-up. Remember, your body has been decades in the making. Healing and hormone restoration take patience. Most men notice changes between the 4th and 6th week and even greater results by 2 to 3 months. Consistency is the key. Don't give up too soon. Question 4. My wife says this is just placebo. How do I prove her wrong? First, smile and thank her for keeping you accountable. Then let results speak louder than words. When your mornings grow stronger, when your confidence rises, and when intimacy feels alive again, that's proof no one can argue with. Sometimes the best answer is not debate but demonstration. Question 5. Isn't fish oil just marketing hype? It's true, fish oil has been marketed aggressively, but behind the hype are hard facts. Omega-3 fatty acids reduce inflammation, improve vessel flexibility, and sharpen nerve function. That's not hype, it's biology. The key is choosing high-quality, purified oil, not the bargain bottle at the supermarket. Gentlemen, I treasure these questions because they show me you're thinking critically. Keep them coming. I promise to keep reading and responding because this channel isn't just about my voice, it's about our shared journey toward vitality. And speaking of journeys, let's move forward. Many of you ask not just if this works, but when. How soon will you see results, and what exactly should you expect along the way? That's our next step. One of the first questions men ask me is, how long will it take before I notice a difference? I understand that impatience. When you've gone months, maybe years, without morning erections, every day feels like a reminder of loss. But here's the truth. When you give your body the right raw materials, change often comes sooner than you think. In the first week, most men notice small but encouraging shifts. Sleep becomes deeper, the mind calmer, and morning energy steadier. These are signs your body is receiving what it's been missing. By the 2nd and 3rd weeks, something remarkable usually happens. Men tell me they wake up with firmer, more frequent erections, not every morning yet, but enough to remind them their bodies are still capable. That flicker of strength restores hope, which in itself is powerful medicine. Between weeks 4 and 6, results often stabilize. Erections become more consistent, intimacy feels stronger, and stamina during the day improves. At this stage, confidence begins to return not just in the bedroom but in daily life. By the second and third month, benefits compound. Hormones stabilize, circulation improves, and inflammation decreases further. Men often describe feeling years younger, not only physically but mentally. They say the spark in their eyes returns, their posture straightens, and their presence feels renewed. Of course, results vary. Some men respond quickly, while others take longer depending on sleep quality, stress, medications, or overall health. But in my practice, men who stay consistent rarely reach 2 full months without noticing real, meaningful changes. I remember Mr. Thomas, 66, a retired postman. He told me after 3 weeks he felt skeptical, progress was small. But by week 7, his wife noticed the difference before he did. That moment of recognition transformed his outlook. Patience rewarded him with results he thought impossible. The key is this: healing is gradual, but steady effort yields steady returns. When men commit to the process, one spoonful at night, paired with good habits, they discover their bodies can still respond, still surprise them. And yet, while timing gives you a roadmap, there are also hidden roadblocks, factors that can delay or even block results entirely. Knowing those obstacles is crucial, because once you recognize them, you can correct course and keep moving forward. That's exactly what we'll explore next. Over the years, I've learned this lesson. It's not just what you put into your body, but the environment you create for those nutrients to work. Some men follow the oil protocol faithfully yet struggle to see progress, while others thrive on the same plan. The difference often comes down to hidden factors that either accelerate or block results. Consistency is the first one. Your body thrives on rhythm. Skipping nights or constantly switching oils interrupts the steady supply of nutrients needed to build hormones and repair tissue. I recall Mr. Allen, 64, who admitted he only took oils when he remembered. Not surprisingly, his results lagged. Once he made it a nightly ritual, the improvements arrived. Sleep quality is another major influence. Testosterone and growth hormone are produced most efficiently during deep sleep. If you're only getting 5 hours, or if sleep apnea silently disrupts your rest, no oil in the world can fully make up for that loss. Addressing sleep issues often unlocks the full potential of this protocol. Medications also play a role. Blood pressure drugs, statins, and certain antidepressants are notorious for interfering with sexual function. Oils can help counter some of those effects, but the uphill climb is steeper. That's why I urge men to speak with their physicians about alternatives or adjustments if they suspect medications are slowing progress. Stress may be the most underestimated factor. Chronic stress elevates cortisol, a hormone that suppresses testosterone. I've seen men grind faithfully through the protocol yet make little progress until they learn to practice prayer, deep breathing, or simple relaxation techniques. When stress dropped, their bodies responded almost overnight. And let's not forget alcohol, especially late at night. Even moderate drinking disrupts sleep and blunts hormone production. A man can work hard on oils and habits, but a couple of nightly drinks may undo much of that effort. These obstacles are not meant to discourage you. They are reminders that your health is shaped by the whole picture. Oils provide the raw materials, but your lifestyle determines how well your body can use them. The good news: once men recognize and adjust these factors, progress accelerates. Hormones build more efficiently, blood flow improves, and results become stronger and longer lasting. But beyond avoiding pitfalls, you can also add small, supportive habits that supercharge your success. The simple, practical steps: hydration, exercise, sunlight, that multiply the benefits of your nightly oils. Let's explore those next. In my years of guiding men through this journey, I've realized that while oils create the foundation, small daily habits often multiply the results many times over. Think of it like tending a garden. You can plant the seeds, but without sunlight, water, and care, they'll never reach full potential. The same is true for your body. One of the simplest yet most powerful habits is hydration. Blood flow depends on how thin or thick your blood is. When you're dehydrated, circulation slows and erections suffer. I recall Mr. Harris, 70, who shrugged this off until I challenged him to commit to drinking half his body weight in ounces of water each day. Within 2 weeks, he felt lighter, more energetic, and more responsive in the mornings. Another overlooked tool is pelvic floor exercise, what many know as Kegels. These simple contractions, as if stopping the flow of urine midstream, directly target the muscles that support erections. I've seen men in their 70s regain firmness and stamina simply by making this a daily routine. Morning sunlight is another ally. Just 20 minutes of light within an hour of waking resets your circadian rhythm, which boosts testosterone production naturally. Men often tell me they feel sharper and more alive once they adopt this small ritual. And finally, protect your evenings. Too much blue light from phones or televisions late at night disrupts melatonin and weakens sleep quality. One patient told me that trading late-night TV for quiet reading under dim light didn't just help his sleep, it made the oils he was taking work more effectively. Each of these steps is simple on its own, but when layered with your nightly oils, they create powerful synergy. Hydration keeps blood moving, pelvic exercises strengthen support. Sunlight fuels hormones, and better sleep ensures the body has time to repair. Together, these habits create the environment where oils can do their best work. And when you combine foundation with reinforcement, results grow stronger and last longer. But beyond lifestyle and science, there's also a practical question on every man's mind. What about the cost? After all, health choices need to make sense not only for your body, but for your wallet. And that's exactly what we'll address next. One of the frustrations I hear most often from men is the sheer expense of conventional treatments. Prescription pills for erectile dysfunction can cost $30 to $60 for a single dose. And even then, the effect is temporary, often paired with headaches or a racing heart. Testosterone replacement therapy runs $200 to $500 a month, along with needles, doctor visits, and constant monitoring. Many men have looked me in the eye and said they feel trapped, paying a fortune just to borrow a little confidence for the night, while fearing what it may cost their long-term health. That's why natural oils feel like such a revelation. A bottle of high-quality olive oil, pumpkin seed oil, or black seed oil might cost $40 to $60 and last an entire month. That's less than $2 a day. And unlike a pill that forces your body into a short-lived reaction, these oils nourish you from within, supporting hormone production, reducing inflammation, and restoring blood flow in ways no single prescription can. I've seen men not only regain their morning erections, but also notice sharper memory, calmer moods, and steadier energy. In other words, you're not just fixing one problem, you're rebuilding vitality. Think of it this way. For the price of a cup of coffee, you can invest in strength, clarity, and confidence that ripple into every part of your life. That's not an expense, it's one of the wisest investments you'll ever make in yourself. But beyond cost and convenience lies something even more important, the promise of reclaiming a part of your manhood that many believe age has stolen. Morning strength isn't only about intimacy. It's about pride, presence, and the unspoken assurance that you're still capable, still strong, still very much alive. Gentlemen, we've walked through the entire journey together. We explored why timing matters, why oils work so powerfully at night, and how each one olive, castor, coconut, pumpkin seed, black seed, and fish oil delivers unique benefits. We laid out a protocol to keep things simple, a timeline so you know what to expect, the roadblocks to avoid, and the daily habits that multiply results. And now we've looked at the cost, proving that real change doesn't have to drain your wallet, but the facts and figures are only part of the story. I've watched these oils restore more than just erections. They restore confidence. They restore intimacy. They restore the spark in a man's eyes when he realizes age has not taken everything from him. That spark is why I share this message with you. Now the choice rests with you. You can accept decline as inevitable, or you can commit to 30 days of consistent effort, one spoonful at a time, and discover what your body is still capable of. Before we close, I want to ask you for something simple. Tap that like button. When you do, I send 3 blessings your way. May your mornings greet you with strength that surprises you. May your days carry a confidence that lifts your shoulders and steadies your voice. And may your evenings bring peace, knowing you've invested in a future that's still alive with possibility. If this message resonated, subscribe, share it with another man who needs hope, and leave your comments below. Type 1 if you're ready to begin, type 0 if you're still unsure. Either way, I promise to read every word. Gentlemen, your body is ready to respond. Well, the only question left is, are you ready to begin?